With effect from tomorrow, we'll be taking samples from all cargo people coming, because we are also aware of the rising numbers of infections in the neighboring countries, and just to ensure that they don't come in with infection. We also know that there are people crossing in through the porous borders. We also want them identified and tested so that we avoid importing new infection into the country. We especially want to appeal to the communities, because you are our strength. You know the new people who joined you. You know the people who traveled. We are just appealing for support, not violence. You need to support one another so that we can identify the infections and remove them from among the community. As the President has indicated, we are not talking about comfort or convenience. We are talking about life and death. And it is important that we identify potential sources of infection and remove them from among the population so that we can keep the numbers of infections down. And that is the basis for the lockdown. So I want to appeal to you to observe the lockdown, the extreme social distancing. Stay in your homes. Thank you, Excellency.
Out of the 53, 9 were identified at the airport from the temperature monitor. When they came, the temperature monitor showed their temperature up. Even before they entered, they were put aside and checked again and again, and then confirmed and taken to hospital. So those are the 9. Then among the people they put under the quarantine, it is where the other 30 have come from. So that is 39 now. 30 plus 9. But the total number is now 53. I think we were talking about 52. So in the quarantine we are 31. Because even the additional one of today was in the quarantine. So so therefore these are people who are coming from where the disease is, but who never entered. But more interesting is that some who entered went and eventually they were traced. So the ones who went into the village are part of the 13 with the people they infected locally. So the 13 include like the man of Masaka who went and infected his wife and his daughter. So there are 3 of them. And the man of Uganda who infected his daughter, his baby. Then the Hoima one. That one infected how many? Okay. So these are the 13. So these are the 13. So I want to thank the Minister of Health. They are doing a very good job, a professional job. Don't panic. There was also some scare, some confusion. People were saying that people in the health center 3 don't have equipment to enable them to take samples. The people in the health center 3 are not the ones supposed to take samples from these suspicious cases. There are what they call hubs. Hubs are like the regional centers. And the minister is saying there are 100 in the whole of Uganda. These are the ones who are equipped with the information and the capacity to take samples. So what you should, and the one who is suspected should not be moved. He should stay where he is, at home. And when he is there, they should come, and the people from the hub, from the prepared hub, should be the one to come and take him from there, check on him from there, take the sample from him, and eventually if he has to be removed, they are the one to remove him. We are going to discuss with the health people the general protection of the health workers against this type of dangers from the patients. In Europe, a lot of health workers have died because of this problem of the infectious diseases from the patients. You remember here we lost Dr. Rukuya. The other day I was speaking with our ambassador in New York. We lost one of our people called Mama Gita, and she was a nurse in New York, and she has died in this problem. She's a relative of one of our people whom we know. So I think as Minister of Health, we should have standard protection for our people, epidemic or no epidemic. I don't see why health people should touch patients without gloves and without masks. We should. Why don't we make it standard, whether there is epidemic or no epidemic? Because like in Europe, people were infected, they were handling these people. Even in China, the other doctor who died, they were handling these people with the new disease, but I think without the precautions. What do you say about that? Why can't we have a standard, epidemic or no epidemic? Don't touch patients with bare hands. Don't breathe into patients, and they should not breathe into you. Protect your mouth. Only remove it when you go back to your doctor's room. What's the problem? Why can't we have that standard?
Excellency, it's not a problem. It is possible. The gloves are available, and NITIL is now making the masks that we can buy for them, and those masks are reusable. They can be washed and used again. So we can procure those masks for all the health workers and also ensure that they have gloves, because we have disposable gloves that can be used to examine patients.
Mm-hmm. So that whether there's epidemic or no epidemic, because the other time we were surprised by Ebola, we have now been surprised by this one. There's also Marburg. I think Marburg also caused some surprise. So why don't we standard-wise? Why don't you assume that the doctor may be a problem to the patients, and the patients may be a problem to the doctor, and that the best thing is to protect both? Well, the one whom you can, by dressing up the doctor properly, we are protecting him, but also protecting the patient, because the doctor can also infect the patient. I don't see why we don't make it. We go on with this. So many health workers have died in Europe. So I hear. I'm sorry that during the LDUs stopped medical doctors and harassed them without knowing who they are before they got stickers. I'm very sorry about that. But you see, it is the caveat of this type of situation. Really, because we discussed it, I had an opinion that it's okay to Barabri. We should announce first that you people from tomorrow we are going to do this. But then people told me that no, Mr. Museveni, that is your politics. But that's not how to control epidemic. Epidemic, you just move. So that being stopped and so on, being beaten, nobody should be beaten. This beating is not acceptable. But being stopped and being sacked and being what, please, that one was inevitable given our situation. I have appealed for donations. In particular, I want us to build up the transport fleet of the Ministry of Health, because we are now having the problem of how to evacuate the pregnant women from the villages without using private vehicles, which then have their own problems. The best way would be to have government vehicles, enough to do the work. And I was estimating if we had like 10 per district, since the districts are no longer too big these days, I think they would be reasonable. This means we need about 1,350, 1,400 there. So I appeal to you to contribute. And I'm glad a number of people have already contributed. I have a lot of people here. Huawei contributed video conference equipment for Ministry of Health. Uganda Assurance contributed blankets, 1,000. Renzori, bottled water, 30 cartons. Pepsi, bottled drinking water, 100 cartons. Crest foam mattresses, 200 pieces. Rose foam mattresses, 200 pieces. Eurofoam mattresses, 100 pieces. These mattresses can help us to equip the quarantine centers. I hope they are the right types with the plastic cover, which is easier to disinfect. Eurofoam mattresses, 100 pieces. Conform mattresses, 60 pieces. Knight Frank mattresses, 60 pieces. Uganda breweries, mattresses, 60 pieces. NC Bank, mattresses, 60 pieces. Sprout Investment, mattresses, 200 pieces. Royal Foam, mattresses, 200 pieces. Carrero Sugar, 500 bags, very good for my people in Kampala. Japan Automotors, these have contributed 8 vehicles, and bottled water, 100 cartons. Coca-Cola has given us empty jerrycans, 187, Vidomora. Uganda Insurance blankets, 1,000. Uganda Insurance Shell Vivo bed sheets, 1,000. UBA Bank, this is our friend Erumeru, the Nigerian, $150,000. Skin Guard, sanitizers, 100 cartons. Move It products, hand wash soap, 200 cartons. Toilet soap, 200 cartons. Coffee, $40,000. Swastika Pharmaceuticals, 5 million shillings. Mega Industries, bar soap, 100 cartons. Darling, 200 million. Who is this Darling?
That makes the braids. It makes the braids for women.
Oh.
They no longer put the hair.
Uh-huh. They make it here?
Yes.
Oh. From ABI? So that is 200 million. Now, this man, I would want you to buy vehicles, because I want to concentrate on vehicles. 4-wheel drive, brand new pickups. I don't want second hand. So that we build up this fleet of the ministry. Sayan Brothers, no, IGAD, I don't know who $100,000. Oh, okay. $100,000. Sayan Brothers, 50 million. Consortium of Standard Chartered Bank, 100 million shillings. So this should be published in the papers. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Starbucks cylinders for Ministry of Health. Sunbelt Industries, $30,000. Eco Limited, 3 spray pumps. Indian Association, PPE, 500. What is PPE? Personal protective equipment, 500 pieces. Gloves, 30,000. Liquid soap, 200 liters. Face shields, 90. Hand sanitizers, 1,200 watt.
The containers.
Oh, containers. Mm-hmm. Barrage group of companies, sanitizers, 1,000 liters. Abacus Group.
This is a pharmaceutical company.
Dextrose, 5%, 3,000. Normal saline, 3,000. Ringers, 2,010. Fluids and so 1,000. Paracetamol, 1,000. Brack soap, 17,000 something. Crown Beverage bottled drinking water, 30 cartons. Sinohydro and Power China cooking oil, maize flour, mobile phones, Blue Wave, 400 cartons. Dodita Group face masks, 10,000 pieces. Sanitizers, testing kits. Madvani mosquito nets, 2,000 pieces. Dot Services motor vehicle pickup double cabin, 1. Tembo Steel motor vehicle pickup double cabin, 1. Sudhir group of companies motor vehicles, 2 double cabins, pickup double cabins. This all should be brand new and 4-wheel drive. Oh, People's Power, Kamocha, Posho, 50 bags. Thank you very much, People's Power. Salt, 30 cartons. Soap, 30 boxes. Thank you so much. Now you see you are now joining the people now. Southern Range Limited, 100 million. Koika, they haven't yet delivered. Government of India, 2 ambulances. People's Republic of China, ambulance, 2 of them. Rwanda Group, 2 ambulances. Chongqing International Construction Company, 215 blankets. China Rail number 7, they have not indicated. Coffee testing kits, $40,000. I think that one they are repeating. Stanbic, personal protective equipment, 60,000. Financing Stanbic, 100 million shillings. Stanbic gloves, 5,000. Stanbic fuel, 55 million what? Liters or what? Uh-huh. 55 million shillings. Mm-hmm. Airtel data, they don't say. MTN, they don't say. Oh, very good. Yes. Very good. So thank you so much. I think we have covered most of the areas. Want to say something on education, Prime Minister? No, on anything.
Well, Mr. President, there are many other people who are coming. There are many other people who are coming in support your appeal to build the capacity of the country, and especially the Minister of Health, the transport. Tomorrow, more of this is being received. And so right to point out that His Excellency the President has assigned Honorable Karoro, Minister for General Duties Office of the Prime Minister, to take overall political responsibility of making sure that this fund is built up and administered properly. And His Excellency has also assigned Dorothy Kisaka to be the administrator of this fund, and His Excellency has also appointed a team of Ugandans with a lot of experience in matters of this nature, and the team should be able to be announced even tomorrow. So I also join His Excellency the President in asking Ugandans to support this effort. Mr. President, I should point out that one of the LC leaders, LC1 chairman, Mr. Rubega in Namugongo, in Chireka, was able to mobilize 1 million shillings and presented it to us. And he set a very good example, because the support we need is for everybody, both who can afford a lot of money and those who can mobilize small amounts of money. The last comment I want to make is that this fund will be managed well. It will be managed professionally and transparently, and a regular publication of what has been contributed will be issued by the Chief Administrator, the overall coordinator of the fund, Mary Karoro Krut.
Thank you. Anything on education, Mama?
out exams in this period, and we have been trying to show them the difficulty in really providing exams while the universities are closed. And even when they say they are online, we were trying to show them the problems with the fact that not all students can access those exams online, and we were getting appeals from those who know that they cannot. And so we are trying to convince the leadership of the universities, especially UCU, that it will be unfair to have some of the students take exams and others fail to take them, and that they can just have some patience when the schools and universities reopen, then everybody can take these exams at the same time. And I'm happy now you have heard from the president also, because I was also trying to persuade them to understand that really what is important in this period is to ensure that everybody is safe and they are healthy and they are at home. And when we are all reassured by the Minister of Health in the country that this phase, this crisis is over, then everybody can come back to where they want to be, and they can do the part of the education that they were left with. So I pray that you will understand that really we are not just stopping you to do what you want to do. We are just trying to help you understand that what is important in this period is indeed to be safe and healthy and stay healthy until we get out of this crisis. So I hope everybody in the country will understand, and others were saying that the message I sent out recently about the fact that if everything is right, that the schools can reopen about the 27th of April. I also said at the same time that if things don't go according to that plan, that we would come back and inform them about then when the schools would reopen. So everybody should just stay put and let us all be patient and protect the life, which is what is most important, until we all can emerge out of this crisis safely and everybody healthy. Thank you. I hope that just clarifies some of what others were still considering could be done. Thank you so much, and thank you, Mr. President.
But these doing exams online, who invigilates? Who checks? Suppose I sit in my room and I copy from the book. Huh? Who invigilates? Because you see, have the exams changed or what?
The UCU is the one that was really adamant about.
But that question of.
But we asked them that question also, because normally the courses that are done online, they prepare how exams can be done, and they are exposed to that method of doing courses online. And we wanted to be sure that UCU has that method, and they are exposed to it, and they have a way to supervise the exams online. But they said that this is not online, that this is a program that is like homework taking away, that they make a package for the students and they do exams, and then they send, I think they're supposed to send it back to university for examination. But all that didn't add up. That's why we were trying to persuade them to really just leave this program.
Haven't I heard of mercenaries, that you can hire mercenaries?
Well, I don't think they would go to that extent, but, but I think the best way to do it is to really just wait patiently so that they can come back to university and do the exam as they know it. So I believe that that's what they will do now.
Okay, thank you very much. But anyway, we are not going to allow them, so it's not a question of negotiations. It is a matter of we must observe the health emergency guidelines without exception until we get out of the danger. Will the schools open on the 27th? That will depend on the situation. It will depend on the situation. We must defeat the thing on the table. The book of Ecclesiastes, there is time for everything. There is time for examinations. There is time for business. There is time for cattle keeping. But there is time for survival. This is the time for survival. This is really a matter of survival, not the usual way of life. It's an abnormal situation. We are lucky that it has not escalated, and nobody really should waste our time. We can't go on begging people to leave. We cannot go begging people, please don't die, don't die, don't die, don't kill others, and then you just go on as if you are. We should not speak very many times about this. Everybody should understand and cooperate. And the good thing is that once you cooperate, it doesn't take long. Like in China now, that city Wuhan, where everybody had to stay indoors. Forget not to drive in with borders. No, indoors, each one. Now they are able to move. They have recorded no death, I think, for some time. And now they have started to move. But in the Western countries where there is always this chaos of Nantagambo Ako, you cannot, people don't listen. You see what has happened? More people have died now in Italy. And Italy, remember, the population of Italy is much less than the one of China. But more people have died there than all the people that died in China. And the difference is just caused by discipline. In China, it is easier to say, don't do this, and people don't do it. In the other places, the Wanyankole say they are all the big holes. There is no small hole which can akakumbi. Everybody is big. You can't stop this one. You can't stop that one. That's how the Europeans have suffered so much. Thank you so much. Huh? Oh, okay. They are not recorded. You have not recorded the donation of His Highness the Kabaka.
Your Excellency, actually there are so many other donations which have been made. His Royal
We're going to
Highness.
recognize them next time.
Thank you, Your
We are not
Excellency.
ending today.
Yes, I just wanted to mention it.
I think this was compiled by
Thank
one
you.
group.
Yes,
Now you are the big woman of the
Yes, sir.
VRB.
thank you, sir.
So next time you compile it properly. But one of the people was His Highness the Kabaka, contributed 100 million shillings. So the list will be given next time. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, and I will start by apologizing for that very small technical glitch that we actually got in the middle of our transmission. We're indeed very sorry about that, and I managed to actually get back. It was a technical glitch that was coming from the source of our feed, for which we apologize, and we just promise that it will be better next time, and we promise